This is First Bank of Wyoming Sports Friday on SVI Media. Here's Duke Dance and Dal Erickson.
Back in the SVI Media studios in Star Valley, Wyoming with First Bank of Wyoming Sports Friday today. Duke Dance and Dal Erickson here with you, and joining us via Zoom today is head coach of the Cody Bronx football program. That's Coach McFadden. Of course, Coach McFadden the defending state champs, looking to add another one to that, trying to go back-to-back on the year, and so far, looking pretty good. Coach McFadden, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on, guys.
We appreciate you taking some of your time and speaking with us this week. And, you know, all the talk leading into the season, it's kind of crazy. Now we're into the postseason, but I guess now we can kind of speak of it in the past tense. Was the 3A West everything you thought it would be to this point?
Yeah, it really was. Coming into this year, we kind of thought it would be typical 3A West and tough week in, week out, and all the main players there. And I think you saw exactly what it was. So, there's never an off week. There's never a time to kind of let down. You have to, you just got to stay on your A game. And I prefer it that way. It makes you continue to improve week in, week out. So yeah, very tough conference, very tough coaches in the conference. Great conference.
Coach, as the regular season progressed for you guys and you went through that tough 3A West schedule and came out unscathed, what did you learn about your team? What do you think made them good enough to win the conference as tough as it was this year?
Well, we knew we had some skill. We had some returning players that we felt confident in their skill set. I think I'm really impressed with the way the team has come together. We've had some kids, some individuals step up, just like you do any season that maybe you didn't count on as much, that surprised you a little bit. And then just the ability, you got to find a way to win sometimes, and that's exactly what they showed, especially of late.
Yeah, you look at the matchups in particular against, I would say, Star Valley and Jackson. Those were both games that were going down to the wire in the fourth quarter, in particular the Jackson game, and your staff and your guys found a way to pull it out. Yeah,
and you got to have those. I told our team I thought that game will provide us more growth than maybe any other. And we didn't play our best ball in that game, but in the fourth quarter, when we needed stops, when we needed to score, we found a way. And sometimes it's just that you got to find a way. And the kids they're the most confident ones and the calmest ones on the sideline in moments like that. The coaches are losing their minds, but I'm just really impressed with their demeanor and their ability to find a way to win.
So let's go to the Jackson game most recently specifically, and especially late in the game when you guys are down and you're looking at a minute or so left in the game, and you've got to find a way to get the ball back and then get down the field and score. The ups and downs in a game like that, roller coaster ride already up to that point. So what are you telling your other coaches and your players on the sidelines in that moment, those last 90 seconds of the game when everything hasn't quite worked out yet? You still have a ways to go.
Well, to be honest, like the last 90 seconds, the last timeout or last opportunity we had to talk to them in the huddle, just told them to enjoy it. Just kind of look around. You got a big crowd. This is why you play. This is what competitors want. You want to play really good teams. You want to be in situations where you have an opportunity to win and go get it. So the kids were really calm. I didn't feel any panic from them. And just what an opportunity, and then I thought they made the most of that opportunity. So, there's no special play, there's no special pump up talk, anything like that. Hopefully you've practiced those situations enough that our kids are confident in them, and I thought they were.
Now we're into the postseason, and you guys welcome the Warland Warriors over to town on this weekend. And what are some thoughts on that matchup, and some of your thoughts on some of the other matchups in the opening round of the 3A?
Yeah, our matchup, it's a tough matchup. I don't know that we've had a harder 4-1 matchup. It's a tough one. Warland's got their quarterback is playing out of his mind. Kyle, he's throwing the ball well. He extremely tough to tackle in the open field. Just playing really, really good, and they've improved a lot since we played them. And they gave us a hard time the first time. We went over to Worland and had a tight game with them over there, so we got a couple lucky breaks late, but it's a tough 4-1 matchup for us, and we need to play really well because they're a very quality opponent. Some of the other matchups, I think same thing. We've all kind of played a few teams in the East, but nobody's played all of them. You're kind of going off of, well, we played these guys and their score was this, and that never works out. So I think 3A playoffs in general in Wyoming are just awesome because you just never know. Everyone's starting over. It's everyone has the same record today, so you got to play some ball and you got to be the best to be the best. So I'm excited. I'm excited for our game. I'm excited for all the other scores and games. It's the best time of year to me.
Coach Matt McFadden with Cody football head coach of the Bronx joining us today on First Bank of Wyoming Sports Friday. Coach, when now that you're in the postseason and you're just a few games away for your team getting back to the state championship game, anything different that you think your team needs to do to get to Laramie this year when you guys go over game planning and strategy? Any points of emphasis that you guys have in practice that you're really focusing on this week and through the postseason?
I don't know if there's one thing in particular, certainly not one thing that I would share with you guys. No, I just think we got to continue to improve. We have to get better today than we were yesterday. And it sounds like a cliche, but you really do. Like we're worried about this game, and we've got to improve. We've got to play better than we did last Friday. And I think if we can take that mindset in one game, it's a one-game season right now, and you have to win this game. Obviously, you're going home. So we just have to continue to improve. There's still, I don't feel like this team is peaked. We show glimpses of being really, really good at times, and then, some other glimpses where we let down. And I think just to play not only 4 quarters, but all 3 phases of the game, for us, it's going to take that in the playoffs. So, we can't let down. We can't let off one phase of the game. We got to continue to improve. So, I know that's probably not the best answer you guys would like, but it's a little coach speak, but that's the truth.
That's Coach Matt McFadden. Coach, you mentioned the players on your team and some of the players that stood up maybe that you weren't expecting to. And, of course, we go through your roster, and everyone knows Boudry and Talich and Cowie, kind of some of the guys that get recognition week in and week out. Who are some of the other players on your team that are key contributors that maybe we don't hear about as much?
Yeah. Well, the first one of them you kind of mentioned, Boudry didn't play last year. That name's been a household name in Cody for a while, and his brother did, but he didn't play last year. So he came out this year and has really helped us and done a terrific job at linebacker and fullback for us. So he's been one of them that we weren't, kind of counting on, and he stepped up and decided to come out, and extremely glad he did. I think our whole O-line, Johnny Williams, and he's returning All-State player, and Jace Grant, is maybe a kid that I thought got overlooked last year and extremely tough inside on O-line and D-line. There's just a lot of them. Jackson Gale, a senior that's really playing really, really good ball right now on both sides of it. I think that's the biggest thing, that you have these kids that come in and kind of accept their role, and whether it's special teams, whether it's just a few reps here and there, or they're starting every single play, and just to see improvement and accept that role, that's really been what I've been impressed with this team. The other kid, speaking of special teams, Lane Rohde, our punter, oh my gosh, he has bailed us out of some huge situations, dropping him inside, not only the 10, but the 5. He's a great little punter. I thought he kind of got overlooked last year for All-State, and he's really tough. So, yeah, there have been a lot of them, kids stepping up and helping us out.
That's Coach Matt McFadden with Cody High School football. Coach, thank you so much for your time today, and we wish you the very best of luck against Worland.
Hey, I appreciate it. Thank you guys for having me on.
Absolutely. It's all part of First Bank of Wyoming Sports Friday on SVI.
Homeowners from Rigby to West Yellowstone, Teton Valley, and Swan Valley to Jackson Hole and Star Valley have made the switch to Fall River Propane. Fall River Propane delivers the highest quality, hottest burning, low-cost propane to homes and businesses. Fall River sells and installs Rinnai heaters and repairs all types of propane fireplaces and stoves. So make the switch to Fall River Propane.
Fall River Propane.
Homeowners from Rigby to West Yellowstone.
Hello?
Hey, man, are you already at the game?
Yeah, man. It's never too early to get to the big game.
When it comes to football games and taxes, you can never be ready too early. Start preparing for the tax season now by getting your reconciling done at Miles CPA in Afton or Alpine.
One more! Come on, man! You can do it! Come on! Faster! You can do it, Amy! Come on! Tight faster! Come on! QWERTY! Home row! Not the delete button! You don't need that! That's for amateurs! Dude, you're not cutting that rate! Come on! Lower! It's gotta be lower!
My name's Larry Lawton. We spent most of our working life in big cities, Los Angeles, San Francisco. Care was good, but you can live in a rural community like this and get better care. The personal relationships that you can get in a small town, particularly with the people at Star Valley Health, have just made a world of difference.
Sports Friday on SVI Media is sponsored by First Bank of Wyoming, your home for totally free checking. Visit gofirstbank.com.
Welcome back into the SVI Media studios with First Bank of Wyoming Sports Friday. Today, Duke Dance and Dal Erickson with you into the postseason for high school football and volleyball. We appreciate Coach McFadden joining us this morning. Also, earlier on in the show, Dal and I took a pretty good dive into the postseason football brackets and the schedules. Still to come, we'll be speaking with the organizers of Wyo Predicts. They predict Wyoming high school football and even volleyball matches this weekend across the Cowboy State. We'll talk to them about who they are, what goes into those predictions, and how accurate have they been up to this point. We'll have a chance to talk with Wyo Predicts coming up as part of First Bank of Wyoming Sports Friday. Before then, Dal, let's talk some volleyball today with region tournaments starting today and going through tomorrow as well. We want our listeners to know that we have every match of the 4A West on SVI today.
Yeah, the watch link is at svinews.com. And as I understand it, Duke, there'll be commentary for the Star Valley matches, but no commentary for the rest of them. But the price is right. There's no cost for it. And you can watch that in high def there at svinews.com.
Star Valley Lady Braves are the number one seed in the 4A West, and they opened the tournament at 10 a.m. this morning against the Green River Lady Wolves. Natrona is going to be the number 2 seed, and they play Riverton at 2:30 today. Cody is the 3 seed, Evanston the 4 seed. Dal, it's going to be interesting, especially once you get into the later rounds of this, because Star Valley is that 1 seed. A lot of people, though, despite Star Valley's recent success, still thinking that maybe Natrona might be the better program. So we'll see how it all plays out.
Yeah, the latest rankings out, and the kind of leaning towards that. Of course, part of that also is Natrona has a long time history of being very good. Star Valley is still kind of the new gals in the 4A class coming back into that class, and so part of that is from that. But at the same time, yeah, the Lady Braves defeated everybody in the Western Conference. Some of them were at home, some of them were away, and so yeah, they've earned that number 1 seed. But you look at some of the matchups. I'm really intrigued. Again, you can't look too far ahead, and you shouldn't. But there is a potential semifinal match at 4 o'clock this afternoon between Star Valley and Evanston, and that is always a good time. Those two always get after it. And then potentially you got Natrona and Cody in the semifinals. But then even that opening round, Cody and Rock Springs is a really good 6 seed. I mean, holy cow, that's a team that could win the whole thing, and they're the 6 seed. So should be a good one there at Star Valley High School.
You go back to the potential Star Valley Evanston semifinal in the 4A West today, and Evanston's going to come in hungry for that, because the last time they were in Star Valley, the Lady Braves swept the Lady Red Devils in that one, and the third set wasn't even close. Star Valley had their reserves in about halfway through that one. I was running camera for it, and that was incredible. So Evanston's going to come in hot. They're going to be ready and looking for some postseason revenge.
Well, and Evanston got swept at home by the Lady Braves too, which does not happen often. So, we'll see what happens. You look at last year, Evanston beat Star Valley, I think, 4 times until they got to the postseason, and then Star Valley ended up getting them then. But so you never know. I mean, you might dominate the regular season. This is not the regular season.
Not the regular season.
This is the postseason. So we'll see what happens.
And 4 teams, of course, from each bracket in the regional tournament will advance to the state tournament, which will take place in Casper next weekend. Also on the western side of the state, on the 3A side, the Lyman Eagles hosting the 3A West bracket. Lyman begins the tournament at home as well as the number 1 seed out of the Southwest. They'll take on Lovell at 10 o'clock this morning. You also have Pinedale taking on Worland at 11:30. Lander and Kemmer play at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Lander the 1 seed, Kemmer the 4 seed, and Mountain View taking on Powell at 2:30 for the last opening round game today in that 3A West bracket.
And you look at the 3A class, 3 of the top teams all in that. I'll say this, I don't think anybody has played a tougher schedule, especially in the 1A class, than Cokeville has. And that's tradition. They do that, and this is why they do that. This is when they get to the postseason and the chips are down and you're trying to not let the ball ever hit the floor and you're willing to go 5 sets. This is why they've had so much success, because of that schedule. And I'm still not putting anybody in front of them. When I voted all season long, I put them number 1 every time.
That's a look at the western side of volleyball regionals. Still hoping to get the folks with YO Predicts on our call today and have a chance to talk to them about their predictions and how they make those predictions and how accurate are those predictions. We'll see if we can get them here on First Bank of Wyoming Sports Friday, all part of SVI Media's sports broadcast heading into the postseason weekend. Now let's take a look at the eastern side of the state when it comes to region volleyball tournaments and what's going on. The 4A East Regional Tournament, that's in Gillette today. Kelly Walsh, the number 1 seed, and they will be taking on South as the 8th seed. Some of the other games, Thunder Basin, Campbell County in the first round, Easton, Sheridan, and Laramie and Central. The 2 and 7 game to finish, and we had a chance to talk more extensively with players from Laramie. We had a chance to talk with the coach last week for Kelly Walsh, and I think most people would be surprised if it's not Kelly Walsh and Laramie in the conference game at the end of this weekend.
I think you're right, because that's kind of the way it's been during the regular season. Yeah, we spoke with Alexis Stuckey from Kelly Walsh, and then we talked, from Laramie, excuse me. And then we talked to the head coach last week from Kelly Walsh, and they both had some good things to say. But I look at the matchups potentially. I mean, it's not like Cheyenne East is not a tremendous team. It's not like Thunder Basin is not a tremendous team. So I even look at, not to gloss over anybody in the first round, but potentially those semifinals in the 4A East could just be absolutely dynamite. It could be a lot of fun.
Looking at the 3A East, which is going to be held in Thermopolis. Games begin at 10 o'clock this morning with Buffalo Rollins, Wheatland Newcastle, Douglas Torrington, Burns, and Hot Springs inside the 3A East bracket. The 2A East has Glen Rock, Tongue River, Sundance and Niobrara, Bighorn and Wright, Pine Bluffs and Moorcroft. And then finally, the 1A East bracket has Casey with Lingo Fort Laramie, Rock River and Hewlett, Southeast and Midwest, and Upton and HEM to wrap up the brackets on the eastern side. Of course, you can find all the brackets at WHSAA.com. That's the Wyoming High School State Activities Association, WHSAA.com. And Dal, this weekend is what punches your ticket to state. So if you're a volleyball player or in the volleyball programs, a volleyball parent, you need to get 2 wins this weekend. That's the magic number.
Well, and it's coming right up. I mean, the first matches across the state are in less than an hour and a half. And so those teams and those players already probably out warming up, doing some things, get ready. And, you don't want to drop. If you're the higher seed, if you're the better seed, you absolutely do not want to drop that first match at regionals, because that can derail your season in a hurry. We see it all the time, and sometimes really good teams get left home because they're not quite ready to go on Friday morning.
It's all part of First Bank of Wyoming Sports Friday this morning. Looks like we may be having some technical issues trying to get Wyo Predicts on the show with us today. Maybe we'll take a commercial break here if possible and see if we can work things out and get things going. In the meantime, just remember that all the 4A West Region volleyball matches will be live free of charge to watch at SVInews.com. That's at SVInews.com today. Full coverage for the Star Valley Lady Braves with SVI Media and the home school, and then all other matches will be live with a single camera shot, but it's free, so it's at the SVInews.com. Duke Ganson, Dal Erickson with you back after this on First Bank of Wyoming Sports Friday.